Can you name, or can anyone who's freaking out about Dr. Seuss's books being canceled name a single book off the top of their head that's being canceled? No. Essentially, what's happening is they're just taking this and weaponizing it because it's convenient for their argument that cancel culture is bad. So, how many people on social media right now have witnessed at least 25% or more of their newsfeed become everybody screeching about how all the things they enjoyed as a child are now being canceled?
Mm-hmm.
Probably everybody right now, because my newsfeed is fucking full of it. OP.
Yeah.
It's the big brain take. And it's all happening at once too. It's great because like I think it was like a week ago that it all kind of like started, at least what's happening right, like what we've gotten to at this point in time all kind of started about a week ago. Cancel culture, of course, has existed for much longer than just a week ago, but the current discourse is quite interesting. So about a week ago, they announced, or Hasbro announced, that they were going to be removing Mr. and Mrs. from their like packaging. I believe, now to be very correct about this, I believe they're just removing it from, actually I think it's just their online branding, maybe specifically. Potato Head. Yeah, so it's the brand naming that they're changing specifically, because like Mrs. Potato Head existed underneath the brand name Mr. Potato Head as well. It's kind of just like a formality in their company, if anything, right? So right off the bat with that one, essentially what happened was the company said, hey, we're going to change the branding here for something to make a little bit more sense, kind of thing. I don't think it really had anything to do with inclusivity at all. Literally just that. They just removed the Mr. from that so that it made more sense as a top-down thing. And yeah, so that happened, and everyone lost their collective shit. Oh my god, we're removing the gendering. This potato can't be a guy or a girl. Oh no, cancel culture go boo-boo. Because potatoes had a gender to begin with.
Right.
Yes. The classic conservative take that potatoes are male and female.
Bro, everyone knows that potatoes are male and female.
Truly.
That's just like standard practice. You know what I'm saying?
Facts don't care about your feelings. Potatoes have penis and vagina.
Exactly.
So we started there, and then, I don't know, probably a day or two later, it started blowing up. Maybe these things might have happened farther back too. Maybe they're just blowing up now. But the next thing that happened was Dr. Seuss.
I've seen that one a lot.
Yeah, that one has blown up quite a lot. At least the company, I don't know what their actual like company name is, if it's just Dr. Seuss or whatever, but I'm guessing so because everything seems to be branded under that name. They're discontinuing, I believe, the printing of 6 books. Dr. Seuss's estate decided to voluntarily stop producing 6 of his books. Yeah, so that's it. These books contain racist imagery that Dr. Seuss, real name Theodore Seuss, may too have been ashamed of. During the Second World War, Seuss published anti-Japanese cartoons and vocally supported the establishment of concentration camps for Japanese Americans. Years later, he sought to apologize for his actions and wrote the book Horton Hears a Who. Oh, so Horton Hears a Who is actually like I guess a progressive step.
Okay.
To reflect his changed views. The books that will cease publication are nowhere near his most popular works, and it's doubtful most Americans have ever even heard of them. That's my favorite part of this whole thing. Can you name, or can anyone who's freaking out about Dr. Seuss's books being canceled name a single book off the top of their head that's being canceled? No.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Like, everyone's acting like it's their favorite childhood book that's been canceled, and it's not. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's something that like wouldn't have made, like they wouldn't have even known the book had existed in the first place had they not like publicized that they were discontinuing this, right? And essentially what's happening is they're just taking this and weaponizing it because it's convenient for their argument that cancel culture is bad. And now We're at stage 3. Stage 3 of the cancellation. Disney Plus is removing, I believe, 4 movies from their child section on Disney Plus. And they're ones that everyone would actually know. Disney Plus pulls Peter Pan, Dumbo, Aristocrats from children's profiles after warning of stereotypes and negative depictions. So I believe they were available on there before with warnings when you watch them, and they're just removing them completely from the childhood section. You can still watch them on Disney Plus. They're just in the adult section now. So it's not like they're taking it away. It's still there. Not really a cancellation.
Who does it really like affect?
It's just age gating, which I mean, like,
yeah.
Do you want to go on YouTube and be able to see pornographic content? Like, do you want your kids to just, do you want your kids to just be able to see big old titties? They're canceling titties, brother. We gotta rise up. Okay, so they added an expanded content warning to some movies. So the ones they originally added a content warning to was Lady and the Tramp, Peter Pan, Jungle Book, and Dumbo.
Right.
And then it's removed Dumbo, Peter Pan, The Aristocrats, and Swiss Family Robinson. So those are the ones from its offerings for children under 7. But yeah, this is just classic conservative whiner baby shit, and it's my favorite thing right now. I've seen a couple people on my friends list just post over and over, making like complaint after complaint about how like cancel culture's grips are just like endless and like, oh, what are they gonna cancel next? Literally everything. It's so funny. And they're like, at the same time, they're weaponizing the word snowflake directed at people who apparently want these things canceled, which I think is pretty funny because nobody actually pushed for any of these things to be canceled, at least not to my knowledge. It seems like all 3 of these things, literally all of them, they have no grounds for any of their arguments. All 3 of these things were just the companies taking a stance against something that they find to be like that may be offensive to some people, but nobody that I know of, there wasn't any like large amounts of like cancel mob culture people calling for any of these actions to be taken, especially like things like the Mr. Potato Head thing. Do you think that non-binary people and trans people want like the gendered name to be removed off of Mr. Potato Head, as if that makes any fucking difference? They literally just want to be treated like normal fucking human beings. Like, they don't give a fuck. Like, it's not... If anything, it's more enraging that like, steps like these are being taken, meanwhile, like, human rights steps have not been taken, right? Like, it So, not at all. Nobody's fucking pissed off about that and harping for any of these things to happen. These are all companies making decisions that affect their bottom line, that make them like a more marketable company, right? That, you know, like, it's all PR. Yeah. All of it is PR. That is... Yeah. That's it. And it actually, the downsides to all of these things don't actually have any negative consequences on anybody either, because Mr. Potato Head not having the branding of like Mr. in his company, like in his brand value name anymore, who does that hurt? They're still selling Mr. Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head toys. Right? That doesn't hurt anybody. What damage is done by Dr. Seuss stopping the printing of 6 books that nobody can actually tell me the names of offhand?
Yeah, right.
Oh no, like, and that's another thing too. I've seen a couple posts that are like, oh, they're gonna want to cancel Cat in the Hat next and stuff. It's like, no. Why? Give me a good reason they would want to do that.
Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, honestly, Cat in the Hat was pretty fucking edgy. That movie was edgy as fuck, but it was great. Dude, it was fantastic.
Michael Myers, bro, made that movie.
Absolutely, and yeah. Like, Michael Myers does a lot of edgy shit too in general, like a lot of the content that he just happens to be a part of, so...
Austin Powers!
True!
So one of those movies is The Spy Who Shagged Me, so it's like...
Yeah. It's good shit.
Very good.
and then there's absolutely no damage at all happening with the Disney Plus shit at all, because you can still access it on the adult profile. If you want your children to watch Peter Pan, then just put it on for them. Like...
Yeah, I think it could be more so a thing of people being more just like insusceptible to like change.
That's exactly it. People fear of change that ruins their idealized like world, essentially. So if you grew up watching Peter Pan, and then the world suddenly decides that Peter Pan is bad in any way, shape, or form, you take it personally because you have identified with that. It's the whole like nationalist argument, and like why nationalism is generally cancerous, because people resist positive change because the positive change like goes against what they personally identify with. So it's kind of the same concept.
Definitely.
Super cringe. So yeah, at the end of all this, I've come to a very striking conclusion that everyone who's freaking out about cancer culture right now is just actually the real snowflakes. That's all of you. All you snowflakes that are watching right now. Stay mad.
A bunch of snowflakes. if you're upset by cancel culture, you're a bunch of snowflakes. You heard it here first. Yeah, it's like if you wanna like lose your shit about having Disney move stuff over from the children's section to the quote unquote mature audience section.
Yep.
Right. It's like if you choose to get upset by that, then it's like, I mean, you are well within your rights to get upset by that. But it's a very childish thing, I think, to be upset about. Like, of all the things that you could be upset about happening throughout the world, I feel like getting your knickers in a twist about that is really kind of like, I've already used the word childish, so I don't want to use the word childish again, but it's like there are much better things that you could be getting upset at.
People are like jumping on every bandwagon because it conveniently supports their narrative that cancel culture is bad, right? So they're jumping on like ridiculous like ideas of things being canceled, which are not, right? We've already broken down how none of these things are being canceled. Just because it supports their narrative. It's all just like visuals. It's all like optics for them, that it supports their narrative. They're gonna hop on the bandwagon without like a second thought on it. It's virtue signaling as fuck. That's it. It's just, they're just virtue signaling really fucking hard.
And for anyone like watching, if you have like any sort of like discussion that you want to add on to this, or any sort of like disagreement or just your perspective, feel free to type it in chat, let us know, and continue the conversation, because like we can bounce ideas off each other all day long, but I feel like we're also both very like-minded in some aspects. And
any kind of disagreement,
on,
I'd be
topics like this.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to hash it out. And you can even talk to us one-on-one if you only want to talk to one of us and not get gangbanged.
Yeah, definitely.
That is super great too. Hop into either of our Discords or whatever and
shoot me a message on Discord. It's okay, so it's the 13 Army 1988 is those are my numbers. I just messaged it to you. Even if our opinions differ on the matter between myself,
there you go. Anyone who wants to
I'm not gonna try and like attack you and be like, oh well, you're wrong because you have a different viewpoint, because it's like, how is that conducive to have healthy conversations about the subject? Like,
it's not about the viewpoints being different. It's about the context of like the viewpoint and how you reach your conclusions, and whether or not those are valid reasons, and breaking it down, or whether or not our reasons are valid. Are we missing something?
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. You know, it's just like just because we have these opinions or these viewpoints, it's not like end all be all kind of thing. Like we could very easily be missing a key factor that could be important to other people and not us. Also, anyone that interacts with me, if you send a message on either YouTube, Discord, or Facebook, it will read out whatever you say to me live on the stream. Thanks for popping by, and see you later.